Okay, sir. Now I can start. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Purna Chandra. I will be presenting my paper on polarization sensitivity, OCT utility in degenerative retinal disease. No financial disclosures. So, as we know, we come a long way from 1996 time domain OCTs to the recent onset swift source OCT. And histology will always remain the gold standard to analyze these retinal layers, but it can't be done in clinical scenarios. We designed a custom-made polarization sensitive OCT with ultra high resolution, which can also generate in-phase images, which was not available in earlier models. So the main difference compared to the STOCT and Baptigen lies here, where better scan rate, maximum depth penetration, better pixel density, obviously a better resolution. So the conventional OCT just measures only the measurement of the reflected light. PSOCT considers the polarized state of the reflected light also. That's the difference. For example, if a light passes through a collagen layer, there will be change in phase retardation and axis orientation. Accordingly, map will be constructed, like phase retardation and axis orientation map, which generates both B scans and N phase images. This is the B scan image of a phase retardation map in a PSOCT. And this is an axis orientation map. They are color coded. There will be change in color if there is any functional or structural changes, and both these complement each other. As I told, it can also generate N-phase images corresponding to the interlimiting membrane, outer plexiform layer, ellipsoid zone, and RPE layer. Interestingly, we observed a bow tie pattern corresponding to the ellipsoid zone. I'll come to this later. So aim of our study was to study this efficacy of PSOCT in degenerative diseases. It was an observational study approved by Institutional Review Board, and informed consent were taken by patients and the guardians, where a total of 50 eyes were studied, 25 normal eyes, 18 eyes were RP, which were again subdivided into early and advanced based on the visual acuity. 7 eyes were Stargardts. All patients underwent detailed clinical examination, imaging, including electrophysiological tests. A PSOCT of 840 nanometer wavelength was used, where phase retardation and axis orientation and phase maps were analyzed. So only those retinal images which were after compensating for corneal birefringence were used for further analysis. So this is how we routinely examine a case of retinitis pigmentosa Stargardts. This is an autofluorescence image and OCT, and we are all quite familiar with these changes. Let's see what additional information PSOCT can add. So this is the phase retardation map. If you compare to the normal and retinitis pigmentosa Stargardt, there's a total distortion at each and every layer, and this bow tie pattern is also getting distorted. The same thing can be repeated in axis orientation map also. So RP is the most relevant structure for photoreceptor function under this study also, because it causes a depolarizing material. If there is an RP atrophy, depolarization can be seen in choroid also, mainly because of melanin granules. And we all know like melanin concentration is more in central region. So if you look at the phase retardation map compared to the intensity images, the maximum depolarization is seen in RP layer, retinal pigment epithelium. Rest of the layers has got more or less similar depolarization. So basically, if there is a better functional integrity, there will be more depolarization. So there will be increased phase retardation and axis orientation changes. This is the gist. So when we overlaid this phase retardation and axis orientation, we could see that as there is an RP atrophy advances, the more and more choroidal depolarization pattern can be observed if the RP advances, and it's more in Stargardts, as we know, like then Stargardts will have a more atrophic outer retinal and RP changes. One more interesting factor what we observed was this patient, though we could hardly make out any ellipsoid zone, still patient had 618 vision. If you observe carefully, RP is still giving some depolarization signal, indicating there is some talking going on between the RP and the photoreceptor. This even the multifocal ERG failed to pick up. And this is of a different patient, and these were repeatable across the patient, both the phase retardation and the axis orientation map. You can see the deterioration of bow tie pattern. All these were quantified, and these were statistically significant. Coming to the discussion, we know like histopathological studies have proved beyond doubt that in RP, rods are first to degenerate, followed by cones, then our retinal pigment epithelium, followed by ganglion cells. Supporting this hypothesis, the present study, the mean phase retardation was more in group 1 RP than group 2. And the RP layer had shown a decreased phase retardation starting from the center to the periphery. That's how the RP degenerates. It can be near surrogate to an histopathological study. Similarly, in the Stargardts, we all know like outer retinal thickness get reduced in both cone rod and Stargardts disease. In our study, eyes had more loss of RP cells, especially near the fovea, which is known. Hyperreflective flex can contribute to higher phase retardation value. One more interesting factor, what we observed was this enlarged RP cells, which have engulfed lipofuscin material. Even if they are dead, they can generate depolarization. This should be kept in mind, and always better to correlate with the color fundus photo and autofluorescence. Coming to the bow tie pattern, normalized, we know like axons of Henle fibers are packed evenly and tightly. So this arrangement combined with corneal birefringence can give rise to bow tie pattern. Whenever there is a photoreceptor damage, there will be a damage to the cell bodies and axons, and radial asymmetric gets disrupted, thereby disrupting this bow tie pattern. So in the current study, we observed that all Stargardts and 16 out of RP patients had a loss of this bow tie pattern. 2 patients who retained this bow tie pattern had sectoral RP. In the current study, we know that phase retardation changes are more prolific, and retinal tissue does possess interesting depolarization property, and which are more pronounced in a disease state. And we also found a functional loss even in RP1 group who had a better and relatively good vision. To conclude, I would like to say under these settings, what we knew was OCT can delineate structural changes. What this study assesses PSOCT can give insight into the functional integrity. The future will be like PSOCT can be a great tool that can reflect functional change in microenvironment to pick up the disease early, even in other degenerative like AMD, and also monitor clinical trials, example, gene therapy. Thank you.
Thank you. Can stop sharing your screen now. So we have 2 minutes for discussion.
Did you correlate visual acuity with the PSD changes?
Exactly. So that was the first in the RP group. If you see, like the RP were divided based on the visual acuity itself, because we know like in RP, fovea is the last to degenerate. And though structurally OCT existing may give a different details, the functional the vision reflects functional integrity. That's why we took the vision as the criteria. In all patients, where the vision was considered, sir.
So how is the OCT machine modified to do this technique?
Basically, as we know, like in that spectral domain OCT, the spectrometer will have, and there will be reference image. In between, a polarization mode that a module was induced, where the reflected light, before going to the reference mirror, it will check the polarized state of the reflected light. The present OCT, it will receive all the reflected light and gives the images. This polarization sensor will detect the polarized state, then we'll go to the reference images. Then the image gets generated. That's where we are getting this additional information. So depending on the functional integrity of the tissue structure.
Is it a software or a mechanical innovation?
No, the device is mechanical. The finally image gets built based on the software, sir, algorithm, software algorithm.
Any patients where you found that the changes were there on the OCT, but it did not correlate so much with the visual acuity?
Yes, there were patients. As I told this thing, RP patient where I showed the OCT picture, we could not explain the vision, but when we did the polarization OCT, it did pick up the signal. So hope I understood your question, ma'am, correctly. That was
yes, that's right. That is what I was asking.
Okay.
On a multifocal ERG, can you elaborate a little? What were the multifocal ERG with your polarization status?
In RP patients, as we know, like full field ERG always comes unrecordable. We always depend on multifocal ERG to see the subtle changes in the foveolar region. So in these cases, as I showed one case example, in very advanced cases RP where patients can have some good vision, even multifocal can come unrecordable. So which is supposed to record some signal. In those cases, the polarization sensitive OCT in our study played an upper hand, where it was showing some depolarization signal, even in the survey. And multifocal ERG was not detecting any signal, but polarization sensitivity detected signal in the RPE, indicating there is some talking going on between the photoreceptor and the RPE. So this is where it scored better than multifocal ERG.
That's interesting.